The facts of the Jimmy Kimmel and Charlie Kirk controversy. I'll lay this out step by step with verifiable facts based on recent reports from multiple news outlets. For example, ABC News, PBS, USA Today, AP, NBC News, and others. This incident unfolded very quickly in the past week, tied to a tragic real-world event. I'll quote directly where possible, explain the context, and then share my reasoned opinion on whether Kimmel said the wrong thing or if his statement was inappropriate. My goal is truth-seeking, no spin, just the sequence of events and analysis. Number 1, the killing of Charlie Kirk. On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk, the prominent conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed at an event on a Utah University campus. He was 31 years old, a father of 2 young children, ages 1 and 3, and a key figure in right-wing politics, known for his support of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. The suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was arrested and charged with aggravated murder, among other counts. Authorities described Robinson as holding a leftist ideology, and if convicted, he could face the death penalty. This detail became central to the controversy, as early reporting and political narratives clashed over Robinson's motivations and affiliations. Kirk's death sparked widespread mourning in conservative circles, with tributes from Trump and others. His widow, Erica Kirk, was named the new CEO of Turning Point USA shortly after. Number 2, what Jimmy Kimmel said on his show. On Monday, September 15th, 2025, during the monologue on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which airs on ABC, owned by Disney, Kimmel addressed the killing as part of his commentary on weekend political news. Take a listen.
With the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
So here again is the exact quote from the monologue, so we are clear, transcribed and reported consistently across sources like Yahoo News, AP, and PBS. We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it. Kimmel then showed a clip of Trump responding to a question about Kirk's death by pivoting to talk about White House construction. And by the way, right there where you see all the trucks, they just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House. Kimmel quipped, "Yes, he's at the 4th stage of grief, construction." Take a listen.
In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
At the time, there was heated online and media debate about Robinson's background. Conservative outlets and Trump allies were emphasizing his leftist views to frame the killing as anti-conservative violence. Kimmel's comment implied skepticism of that narrative, suggesting the shooter might align more with MAGA, one of them, and that the push to label him otherwise was opportunistic politics. Importantly, Kimmel did not directly criticize Kirk himself. His remarks targeted the political spin around the killing, not the victim. He also made similar comments on Tuesday's show, saying the MAGA gang was working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. Number 3, the backlash and cancellation. The comments went viral, drawing outrage from conservatives. FCC Chair Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, called them truly sick and accused Kimmel of spreading misinformation by implying the shooter was right-wing. Carr threatened FCC investigations, fines, or license revocations for ABC affiliates, saying, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Take a listen.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct and take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
The network response is as follows. On Wednesday, September 17th, Major ABC affiliate owners like Nexstar, which operates many local stations, and Sinclair announced they would stop airing Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, citing the remarks as offensive and insensitive and not reflective of community values. ABC Disney followed suit on the same day, suspending the show indefinitely starting Wednesday night. This is unprecedented for a late-night program. It's not a full cancellation. The show isn't formally ended, but it's off-air with no return date, effectively halting production and broadcasts. Here's the broader fallout. President Trump praised the decision, calling it great news for America and claiming Kimmel had bad ratings, and said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk, though, as noted, Kimmel didn't target Kirk directly. Take a listen.
Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going.
Over 100 people nationwide have reportedly faced job repercussions for similar comments perceived as unflattering about Kirk, per a USA Today analysis. Sinclair demanded Kimmel issue a public apology and donate to Kirk's family, Turning Point USA, before any return. No apology from Kimmel has been reported as of September 19, 2025. Protests formed outside Disney HQ in support of Kimmel, with Hollywood figures like Ben Stiller, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Stephen A. Smith criticizing the suspension as an overreach. Number 4. Now, was this free speech or something else? Legally, Kimmel's comments are protected under the First Amendment. Late-night TV satire often pushes boundaries on politics. However, private networks like ABC can suspend shows for any reason, including advertiser pressure or affiliate boycotts. Critics, for example, Representative Eric Swalwell, called it an attack on comedy driven by Trump's influence via the FCC. Take a listen.
But I'm not going to miss the opportunity to ask my colleagues, the proponents of free speech across the aisle and the champions who sit with me, to condemn in the harshest terms what is happening right now from our administration. The second late-night comedian has been taken off the air because the president did not like a joke. I want to first condemn in the harshest tones the murder of Charlie Kirk. He should be with his family right now. He should be with his children. He should be alive. He had a right to say what he wanted to say to who he wanted to say without any physical violence being brought his way. And Jimmy Kimmel had a right to say what he said, which didn't in any way suggest that somebody in the MAGA world had been responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. He was just pointing out what folks online were doing as Twitter detectives before any investigation had been completed were saying about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And then he pointed out that Donald Trump, who did not go to Kirk's memorial service at the Kennedy Center over the weekend, when he was asked how he was feeling about the assassination, did not address it, but rather went right to a construction project. And for that, Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air. That's not who we are. That's what it looks like in China. That's what it looks like in Russia. That can't be what it looks like in America. And the foundation of this, the genesis of this, was the president's FCC chairperson, Brendan Carr, sending a tweet that said, essentially, and giving an interview to a podcaster where he said, essentially, if ABC doesn't want to do this the easy way and suspend Jimmy Kimmel, we will do it the hard way. And it would be government censorship. Maybe I was not loud enough in the past when Republicans spoke out against government censorship. And if that's the case, I will go back and revisit whether I could have been louder. But that does not mean that today Republicans are silent just in an effort to own the libs. If you didn't like cancel culture when you thought it was happening in prior administrations, you certainly can't look at what just happened in our country and accept that that is something we should live with and we should tolerate. So I want to make it clear, there's going to be a Democratic majority in just over a year. And to the FCC chairperson and anyone involved in these dirty deals, get a lawyer and save your records, because you're going to be in this room and you're going to be answering questions about the deals that you struck and who benefited and what the cost was to the American people because that happened.
On X, formerly Twitter, reactions split sharply. Conservatives celebrated it as accountability for defaming Kirk's memory. Liberals decried it as authoritarian cancel culture from the right. My opinion, did Kimmel say the wrong thing? Was it inappropriate? Based on the facts, no, Kimmel did not say the wrong thing, and his statement was not inappropriate in the context of political satire. Here's why, broken down transparently. The timing and sensitivity. The comments came just days after Kirk's death, when emotions were raw. Mocking political opportunism around a fresh murder, even indirectly, can feel callous, especially since Kirk left behind a young family. In that sense, the raw timing amplified the backlash, and a more measured approach, for example, waiting a week, might have avoided the firestorm. But inappropriate implies crossing a clear ethical line, like celebrating the death or lying outright. Kimmel didn't do that. He questioned spin, which is fair game for a comedian. Accuracy and intent. Kimmel's core point, that MAGA figures were quick to politicize the killing by pinning it on leftists, holds up. Authorities did label Robinson as leftist, but early chaos, for example, unverified social media claims, fueled debates about his true affiliations. Implying the shooter might be one of them was speculative and edgy, but it's classic Kimmel-style hyperbole, not defamation. He wasn't spreading misinformation, as Carr claimed. He was satirizing hypocrisy. If anything, the real insensitivity was in the rapid weaponization of Kirk's death for points on both sides. This isn't about one wrong joke. It's about power dynamics. The swift suspension feels like a cave to regulatory threats from a politically aligned FCC, not organic cancellation. Late-night hosts like Kimmel have roasted conservatives and liberals for years without this level of fallout. Trump and allies, framing it as justice for Kirk's honor, ignores how they've cheered similar cancellations. For example, Roseanne Barr. If we value comedy as a check on power, this sets a chilling precedent. Punish the punchline if it stings the wrong side. In short, Kimmel's remark was pointed satire in a heated moment, not a moral failing. The backlash says more about our polarized media ecosystem than about him being inappropriate. If anything, it's a reminder that truth-telling or joking close to it can still cost you dearly in 2025 America. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into this new universe in America.